All right, what's good, y'all? So, I'm going to do a trade recap. I actually did a live trading video, but I didn't realize that OBS, like, for some reason, my mic wasn't connected on OBS, like it usually is. So I didn't really like check it. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna go over gold. I took a gold trade this morning. We caught 330 pips, but man, like this was a good move. You could have it peaked at almost 800 pips, maybe 800. Yeah. So it peaked at almost 800 pips, which is a crazy move. But yeah, we're gonna go over gold, and I'm gonna tell you guys like what I saw for the trade, and hopefully you guys will learn something from it. So I'm not gonna really go too much into detail on the daily because like this daily, it doesn't really like show too much for you, especially because I'm gonna have to go into the replay mode. But like I do want to point out again, like if you guys watched my last video, you guys know that overall I'm looking for a bullish move. So whether it happens this monthly or not, I do want to see price kind of like try to retest these highs up here. So if we can get somewhere like I'll say anywhere like maybe like halfway up here or like even fully up here, that'd be great. As far as like my bias overall is, and this is the monthly time frame, so this could take weeks to even happen. It could even take into March to happen, or like you know what I mean. But I am expecting like a price to move up, probably more towards like today's the 17th, so maybe like next week or the last week of February, we could possibly get that move to like push up again. So let me go up into the 4 hour. And so okay, so look on the 4 hour. You guys gotta let's listen carefully. You know what I mean? so so again, I'm gonna show you guys why I'm bullish overall. Besides just like looking into that monthly, but I'm gonna break it down to show you exactly like what I'm thinking, why I took sales today rather than buys, even though I have a bullish bias overall. So as you can see, right? So we came down, we came up, we came down, came up. We tried to break this high, but we couldn't break it, and then we came back down, and now we're just kind of chilling right here. So we do have a support in this area. So this is your support area right up in here. It's like, why is this support? This is support because you have a bunch of taps in this area. You have tap here, tap here, tap here, tap here, tap here, tap here. So we're not really breaking this level, at least not yet. And we're really not technically bearish on like a high time frame until we break these lows down here. So we still are would rather like be looking for buys overall. But at the end of the day, like if we're day trading or like possibly swing trading for like shorter periods of times or scalping, we don't really care about this like every single day. Like we keep it in the back of our mind, but we're not necessarily like banking off of that waiting for it to hit exactly where we like want it to start taking buys, right? So um and again, like I said, like I'm basing my trade off of okay, like we're at support, but like what are the odds? Like how do we know that price isn't gonna down to here before we get a push up? Yes, it could get a push up here, but we don't know that yet. So we gotta trade what we see. So when we go into the hourly and I'm trading what I'm seeing, I'm looking at all of this right here. This is what I'm looking at. I don't care about all of this right here and stuff like that. I'm looking at this and I look at this a little bit too. So I'll break it down. So let me just go into the replay mode real quick. We'll go 7 o'clock. That's good. So if I'm looking at this right here, right? So we're only worried about this. You have two things that you got to keep in mind. So number one is you had an area of support and resistance up here. So your resistance was here, your support was here. We broke that low and we created a new low. So we broke this low and we created a new low, right? Now we retested and not only that, but we retested a supply area. So this is a supply area because you had a gap. We had an aggressive push down, a gap, and then we retested that area. and then we got our move down. Okay, so we retested this low. We retested this low on like a higher time frame. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, again, now besides that, we want to look here. What is the structure over here? The structure is still bearish. We're not breaking any highs. We're just breaking lows. So we have a low here. We break that low, and what do? We create a new low. So boom, boom, and then what happens after that? Boom, we break that low. Now we're retesting again. So understanding that we're breaking lows and that price likes to generally like retest the low before even correcting a move. Well, they like to correct the move and then retest that correction, or before like making any type of reversals or anything like that. So like what I mean by that is you're not gonna see like 9 times out of 10, if you see structure like this, you're not gonna see price just pop back up like that and then just like you're gonna see something like this. Like if anything, you'll see boom, boom, and then it'll try to break the low, and then it might go up. It'll try to break the low and fail, and that'd be like your first indication of, okay, we might be in a reversal. So understanding that, I'm like, okay, what are the odds that we'll try to at least break the low again? Okay, so now again we have a low getting broken. We have a new low down here, and technically like I just marked up to like the closure of the low rather than the wick fill. But the wick fills are good lows to keep in mind as well. So where this is 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So like let's go into the 15 minute. Okay. So on the 15 minute, everything is the same thing, right? So we're breaking lows and stuff like that, but now we're gonna be closing back into this range at 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock we close back into the range, and now I'm like, okay. So again, what I want to see is I want to see price come down and try to like break down a little bit, at least try attempt to retest the lows, right? So um that was your first indication, and then we ended up getting a push down. But I was kind of I wanted to see price come back up a little bit, but we weren't really getting that, so I pulled the trigger because I'm like, okay, like if we're not gonna come all the way back up here. And listen, if you have a specific rules telling you like don't get into a trade unless you see a specific thing, don't get into the trade. But like I kind of like went a little bit based off of like my instinct a little bit, and I'm like, okay, so because we're trying to break, but we're not quite breaking, and so I got in on this next candle, not this candle, but the next candle. I got in like basically like right there, and I put my stop loss up here. So what happened was, you're gonna when I do this candle, you're gonna see this candle close bullish, but it started off and it went like this. It went boom, then it dropped, and then it closed back up again like this. So you're gonna see it close oh shit. You're gonna see it close bullish right there. So it came up, dropped back down, and then came back up again. And so I ended up pulling the trigger because I'm like I think that we're gonna continue down, and I got into the trade at 8:30. This was technically the closure at 9:45, like to start the 9:45 candle. So at 9:45, what happened was we just dropped straight down, boom. And I closed right here. I got closed out by a trailing stop. So not on the 5, but on the 1 minutes, I was trailing my stops. And because we hit my final TP, really, I was like, you know what, let me just trail it right at the TP, and just take whatever money I could get after. And so if I would have waited for this 1 minute to close, I would have been able to eat up a little bit more. But I didn't wait for the candle closure, so I got wicked out, and then price ended up closing right here, and then we got that final push. One more thing that I want to point out though is if you were like trying to figure out how to get into this trade, like, because remember how I said like I kind of like trusted my instincts a little bit. Another thing that you could have done is you see on the 5 minute, so understanding that you're looking for that that bearish like bias, I guess if you want to say. Another thing that you want to watch out for is, so you see how we created like a little mini range right here. So we had a support and we had a resistance. You could have gotten into the trade just based off of this closing bearish at resistance. You closed bearish at resistance, so you could have got here and just like throwing your stop loss here. But I would have given it more room either way. Throw it right there or whatever, and then just let the trade do what it's gonna do. And so that's another way that you could have gotten into the trade. Overall, we had a good move in this. Kept on pushing. You could have, I think it pushed, yeah, it pushed all the way down here, and it peaked at like almost 800 pips, which is crazy. But yeah. So now price is doing whatever it's doing right now, currently, and yeah. So that's pretty much all I got for this video. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys can maybe use some of this stuff for your next trades or whatever. All right, so with that being said, I'll see you on the next video.